Every single day, over 2 billion people around the world open their refrigerators, pull out last night's dinner, and pop it into the microwave. They're not being lazy, they're being efficient. They believe, because they were taught, that heat kills all the bad stuff. If it's steaming, if it's hot enough to burn your tongue, it's safe, right? That assumption is one of the most dangerous myths in modern nutrition. A slow, silent process happens inside that food the moment it goes from the pan to the fridge, a process that has nothing to do with bacteria and everything to do with chemistry. Chemistry that, when you apply heat for a second time, transforms perfectly healthy ingredients into compounds that your body does not recognize, and more importantly, cannot safely process. Here is a number that I want you to carry with you. 1 in 6. That is the estimated number of all cancer cases globally that researchers now link directly to dietary factors. Not just what we eat, but how we handle it, how we store it, and crucially, how we reheat it. This data, published in the journal CA, a cancer journal for clinicians, ranks poor dietary habits as the second leading modifiable risk factor for cancer, sitting just behind tobacco use. And yet, almost no one is talking about the molecular mayhem that occurs inside your microwave when you press Start on the wrong leftovers. Today, I am going to show you 4 foods you are almost certainly reheating. Foods that are probably sitting in your fridge right now, which undergo documented, scientifically verified chemical transformations when exposed to a second round of heat. Transformations that carry a measurable cancer risk. By the end of this video, you will never look at your leftovers the same way again. Before I get to the list, I need to explain something crucial. This isn't about an upset stomach, and it's not about food poisoning. What we are talking about is the slow, cumulative buildup of carcinogenic compounds inside your body over months and years. The kind of silent, invisible damage that occurs without any symptoms until it becomes extremely difficult to reverse. Cancer rarely develops overnight. It is a gradual process, a slow progression. The building blocks of that progression, free radicals, advanced glycation end products, nitrosamines, and lipid peroxidation byproducts, often enter your body not through cigarette smoke or industrial pollution, but through your own kitchen. The World Health Organization has classified several compounds formed during the reheating of specific foods as Group 1 or Group 2A carcinogens. Group 1 means there is conclusive evidence the substance causes cancer in humans. Group 2A means it is probably carcinogenic. These aren't theoretical concerns. These are chemical reactions that happen in your kitchen, on your stovetop, or inside your microwave every time the wrong foods are reheated the wrong way. And here's the part that should concern you the most. The people at greatest risk are not those with unusual eating habits. They are ordinary, health-conscious people who believe they are making good choices. They are the ones eating lean proteins, steamed vegetables, rice, and eggs. These are the 4 categories we are going to examine today. Let's start with food number 1. Number 1. The staple of billions. Rice is the most widely consumed staple food on Earth. Over 3 billion people rely on it as their primary source of calories. Billions of people reheat leftover rice every single day. It's a deeply ingrained habit across nearly every culture. However, there is a serious problem with this practice, and it has very little to do with the reheating process itself. It has everything to do with what happens during the time the rice spends in the refrigerator between the first cook and the second. As cooked rice cools, it becomes an ideal breeding ground for a bacterium known as Bacillus cereus. This is not a rare contaminant. It's naturally present in raw rice. It survives the initial boiling process and multiplies rapidly when cooked rice is left at room temperature or stored for too long. When you reheat that rice, the heat may kill the bacteria, but it does not destroy the heat-resistant toxins they have already produced. Those toxins survive the microwave, they survive the stovetop, and they enter your digestive system intact. But while the bacterial risk is significant, and it is not the primary cancer concern. The cancer concern is deeper. Bacillus cereus produces a toxin called cereulide, which laboratory studies have shown can damage the mitochondria inside human cells. Mitochondrial dysfunction is recognized as one of the early biological events that can contribute to malignant transformation, the process by which a healthy cell gradually becomes cancerous. There is another concern associated with reheated rice, one that is rarely discussed. Repeated heating of starchy foods increases the formation of acrylamide. Acrylamide is a chemical compound produced when natural sugars react with the amino acid asparagine under high heat. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies acrylamide as a Group 2A carcinogen, probably carcinogenic to humans. What should you do instead? Whenever possible, cook rice fresh. If you need to store it, spread it out on a shallow tray immediately after cooking so it cools quickly. Refrigerate it within 1 hour. Consume it within 24 hours. And never, ever reheat rice more than once. Number 2. The golden protein that turns dangerous. Here is something that may surprise you. Chicken is the world's most popular lean protein. Doctors, dietitians, bodybuilders, and health-conscious families all recommend it. And when leftover chicken ends up in the refrigerator, almost everyone reheats it. This is where the problem begins. When proteins, particularly those found in animal muscle tissue, are exposed to high temperatures for a second time, they undergo a process known as protein oxidation. One consequence of this process is the formation of compounds called heterocyclic amines, or HCAs. This is not controversial. In the scientific literature, HCAs are among the most extensively researched dietary carcinogens. Once HCAs enter the body, liver enzymes metabolize them into highly reactive compounds that can bind directly to DNA. This interaction with DNA can produce genetic mutations. Mutations affecting critical genes, especially tumor suppressor genes, represent one of the primary mechanisms through which cancer begins. A landmark study published in the journal Carcinogenesis found that individuals who frequently consumed well-done or reheated poultry had a statistically significant increase in the risk of colorectal cancer. A separate analysis conducted by the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that frequent consumption of reheated processed chicken was associated with an increased risk of pancreatic cancer, one of the deadliest forms of cancer, with a 5-year survival rate of only 11%. If you find this type of evidence-based practical health information valuable, I encourage you to subscribe. I publish one new video every week, and each one follows the same approach: peer-reviewed research translated into practical information you can apply. No hype, no supplements, just the science and what it means for your health. Now, let's move to food number 3. Number 3. The healthy vegetable that betrays you. Spinach is arguably the most celebrated vegetable in the healthy eating world. It's rich in iron, folate, magnesium, and powerful antioxidants. Nutritionists, oncologists, and cardiologists consistently recommend eating more spinach, and they are absolutely right when it's eaten fresh or cooked once and consumed immediately. The problem arises when spinach is stored and reheated. Spinach, along with celery, beets, lettuce, and Swiss chard, is among the richest dietary sources of naturally occurring nitrates. In their natural form, these nitrates are beneficial. They help support cardiovascular health and contribute to healthy blood pressure regulation. However, once cooked spinach is refrigerated, naturally occurring bacteria on the surface of the leaves begin converting those nitrates into nitrites. This is the same chemical conversion that occurs in cured meats. It is also one of the reasons the World Health Organization classified processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen in 2015. When spinach that has been refrigerated for 24 hours or longer is reheated, you are applying heat to a vegetable that has already undergone substantial nitrate-to-nitrite conversion. Under heat, those nitrites can react with amino acids present in the spinach, and later in your stomach, to produce nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are among the most potent dietary carcinogens identified by modern science. Animal studies have shown they can induce cancer at remarkably low doses. Epidemiological research consistently associates high nitrosamine exposure with an increased risk of gastric, esophageal, and colorectal cancers. The irony is devastating. One of the healthiest foods on Earth can become a source of carcinogenic compounds simply because of a storage and reheating habit practiced every week by millions of health-conscious people. What should you do instead? Cook spinach fresh whenever possible. Eat it immediately after cooking. If you have leftovers, consume them cold within a few hours. Do not refrigerate cooked spinach with the intention of reheating it later. If you absolutely must store it, keep it in an airtight container. Consume it within 6 hours and do not reheat it. Eat it cold hours and do not reheat it. Eat it cold instead. Now, food number 4. I told you it would surprise you. Number 4. The breakfast staple nobody warns you about. Eggs are among the most nutritionally complete foods available. They contain all 9 essential amino acids. They are an excellent source of choline, an essential nutrient that supports brain function. They provide significant amounts of selenium, an important mineral involved in antioxidant defense. And they contain lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 antioxidants that help protect eye health. By almost every nutritional standard, eggs are one of the healthiest foods you can eat. However, reheating eggs, especially scrambled eggs or hard-boiled eggs, creates a specific and often overlooked chemical problem that very few people discuss. Eggs contain approximately 13% fat, with most of that fat concentrated in the yolk. When an egg is cooked for the first time, the fats undergo an initial stage of oxidation. This is normal. But when a cooked egg is refrigerated and then reheated at a high temperature, those already oxidized fats undergo secondary lipid oxidation at a much faster rate. The byproducts produced during this process, particularly malondialdehyde and oxysterols, are now well documented in the scientific literature. Oxysterols, in particular, have attracted attention over the past decade. These are oxidized forms of cholesterol that develop specifically when foods containing cholesterol are repeatedly heated. A comprehensive review, published in the journal Food and Chemical Toxicology, concluded that oxysterols possess pro-atherogenic, pro-inflammatory, and most importantly, cytotoxic and genotoxic effects on human cells. Genotoxic. That word is critical. It means toxic to the genetic material inside your cells, your DNA. By definition, genotoxic compounds are considered potential carcinogens because they can produce DNA strand breaks and genetic mutations that initiate the chain of events leading to cancer. There is another concern associated with reheated eggs. When cooked egg proteins are exposed to excessive heat for a second time, particularly during rapid microwave reheating, they undergo additional denaturation, forming abnormal crosslinks that make them more difficult for your digestive system to break down. The sulfur-containing amino acids naturally present in eggs, cysteine and methionine, can degrade during repeated heating. The degradation products may contribute to oxidative stress within the lining of the digestive tract. Persistent oxidative stress in the gastrointestinal mucosa is considered one of the major mechanisms involved in the development of colorectal cancer, the third most common cancer worldwide, responsible for nearly 1 million deaths every year. What should you do instead? Eggs are best eaten immediately after cooking. If you prepare eggs in advance, store hard-boiled eggs with their shells still on and eat them cold. Avoid reheating scrambled eggs or omelets in the microwave. If you absolutely need to warm an egg-based dish, use gentle indirect heat, a warm water bath, or very low-temperature oven. Never heat egg dishes above 165 degrees Fahrenheit. When I first began reviewing the scientific research on reheated foods, my first reaction was not fear. It was frustration. Frustration because this information is not hidden. It has been published in peer-reviewed journals. It appears in official guidance from the European Food Safety Authority, the World Health Organization, and numerous public health agencies around the world. Yet, somehow, it almost never reaches the dinner table. It is rarely communicated in a way that is clear, practical, and easy for people to apply in their daily lives. There are children eating reheated rice, spinach, and eggs in their school lunches 5 days a week. There are older adults with weakened immune systems reheating leftover chicken simply because they live alone and it's convenient. There are fitness enthusiasts eating reheated high-protein meal prep containers every day, convinced they are maximizing their health, completely unaware that the chemical composition of their food has changed significantly since it was originally prepared. None of these people are doing anything wrong. They simply do not know. Now you do. The summary: 4 foods, 4 mechanisms, 1 conclusion. Food matters. Let's bring everything together. Food number 1, rice. Reheating cooked rice can reactivate heat-stable bacterial toxins and promote the formation of acrylamide. Mechanism: bacterial toxin activity and acrylamide formation. Potential cancer connection: mitochondrial dysfunction and exposure to a Group 2A probable carcinogen. Food number 2, chicken. Reheating cooked chicken at high temperatures promotes the formation of heterocyclic amines through protein oxidation. Mechanism: protein oxidation. Potential cancer connection: direct DNA interaction and an increased risk of colorectal and pancreatic cancers. Food number 3, spinach. During refrigeration, bacteria convert nitrates into nitrites. When reheated, nitrites react to form nitrosamines. Mechanism: nitrate to nitrite to nitrosamine conversion. Potential cancer connection: increased exposure to nitrosamines associated with gastric, esophageal, and colorectal cancers.